I don't really look at one person because there's a lot of bureaucracy under that, the president.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there are different current events that do transpire to make things, or people feel unsafe, certain
Public
trends.
perception.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yep. So one of them being, which the crazy part is, I think I was in Iraq in maybe 15, right?
Okay.
Cybersecurity has been a thing since 1980s.
Hip-hop started from the slums of the Bronx, New York. I fell in love with breakbeats, the techniques, b-boying, MCing, crushing whoever was in front of you. It was groovy. You knew how it was. It's true, it's hip-hop. It's only one source to get it. It's I Do It For Hip-Hop Podcast. Subscribe Google Play, iTunes, and DJ Bugsy 215 SoundCloud. It's all about the hip-hop. Keep it hip-hop. It's your boy DJ Bugsy, Do It For Hip Hop Podcast. This is bonus coverage part 2. I got a very special guest. He is the CEO of Parker International Security Consulting Firm. He's a father and a hip hop lover. I want to welcome my good friend Montez Parker.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, it was supposed to happen, but something can't. Yeah, but we here, right?
Yeah, we here. Yep, couple hiccups, but ain't gonna stop nothing.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So first of all, bro. I want to start off with the American people feel unsafe.
Okay.
A lot of people feel that when Trump was in office, we were safer. Mm-hmm. But now that Joe Biden has been in office and continues to be falling asleep at any moment's notice, a lot of people feel like we are a threat. We hear about China. We hear about the countries over in Europe, the things that has been going on. What's your thoughts on that? And I want you to kind of tell me your background as it pertains to that.
Okay, that's a good one. So I try not to really talk too much about the person that's in the seat.
Right.
You know what I mean? But definitely look at the current events that are going on and different trends. Just real quick. So I was in the Air Force for 6 years.
Okay.
I was security forces personnel. Global knowledge. Spent 3 years in Japan. Spent some time in the Middle East. Deployed to Iraq. Actually, I think I was on my way to Iraq the first time Trump was in office. So I seen how some decisions that we make impact the world, right?
Okay, exactly.
Or have a global impact is a better way to put it. And then I finished out in South Carolina. So that's just a little bit of my military background. But to your question, I don't really look at one person because there's a lot of bureaucracy under that, the president.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there are different current events that do transpire to make things, or people feel unsafe, certain
Public
trends.
perception.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep. So one of them being, which the crazy part is, I think I was in Iraq in maybe 15, right?
Okay.
Cybersecurity has been a thing since 1980s.
Really?
Oh man, I can't think of the documentary right now, but there's a documentary out about how we, or I can't say we, but there has been different attacks on whether it's South Korea, just different places. There's been different cyber attacks 20, 30 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. So it's kind of a hot topic now, but it's that's been going on.
Okay.
So of course, then you have Russia invading Ukraine. That's one thing. Then you have Israel and Gaza. So you have it's right now it's a hot button. But what I will say is a lot of people don't know that I think it's between 70 and 80% of elections are happening this year.
Okay.
So that's going to brew things up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. But what do you think moving forward when it comes to foreign policies, in your opinion, not to say that something the president would do, but in your opinion, based on your knowledge, what do you think would make America be looking like the America always looked, where other countries were like, no, I'm not about to throw a missile at them, or I'm not about to start nuclear warfare. It seems like they don't care no more. Like before, back in the day, we were like a threat. We were like, no, they can't be touched, like on some MC Hammer shit. But now it seems like, fuck them niggas, we gonna take them out. So what do in your knowledge base, how do you feel America can be the regime that it once was before? Pre 9/11, before 9/11.
Yeah. I think we have to finish out what we're doing now, right? I think.
Okay.
One thing is when it comes to places like Ukraine, whatever promises we have to different countries or NATO, you have to stand on those. You know what I mean? You have to finish things out. That's one thing. The second one I'll say is it's a new age. You know what I'm saying? It's like when gas first came out, everybody was going back and forth over oil and different things. Right now, it's a new age. You got technology, you got artificial intelligence, you got chips, you know what I'm saying, that are going to control quantum computing and things like that. That's what the fuss is really about, right? Is economics of things.
Okay.
So how is the pie going to be divided in time to come? You know what I'm saying? One thing I will say, though, is Ukraine is called the breadbasket of the world. Right, so there's a lot of wheat. There's a lot of trade that leaves Ukraine. There's a lot that leaves those docks.
Okay.
Taiwan is where a lot of the chips are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of technology happens in Taiwan. So there's things that's happening, and United States has influence in both of those places.
Okay.
So it goes back to how is the pie going to be divided moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah, to me.
Now talk about your company.
Okay.
Why you started, why you feel it's important to be started, and also about the school that you're about to open up soon.
Okay, so Parker International Security, I like to say we do unified security.
Okay.
Right? It's physical and cybersecurity. So I was in Iraq in 2015. I had about a year left in the military. 2015, 2016, I had about a year left in the military.
Right.
I was a single parent. My daughter was with my mom at the time. So I was like, man, I got to save this money, get out,
Right.
and use it to change my daughter's life, because I was away from her for really like a year. So I started studying everything I could study. I got out in 2017. I worked under Governor Wolf's jurisdiction for about 3 years before I fully launched the company. I would like to say in about 19.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started with physical just because cybersecurity, it's a hard field to crack. It's a hard nut to crack. As an entrepreneur, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you could go get a job, but how many people are like, I trust you with my information, my data, and securing it?
Now, not to cut you off, when you say physical, can you elaborate to the people? Physical is just meaning like regular security.
Regular security. You're talking about security officers, right?
Right.
Well, mobile patrolling, we do. To be honest with you, when I got out, we started out in clubs and bars like everybody else, tossing people out.
Right.
Until we got, some hospital contract. You got to start where you got to start. So we started there, and then we got some hospital contracts. I'm like, look, I don't really want to be, wrestling with, intoxicated people at 2:30 at night in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So then we went to hospital security. Then we went to the surveillance. Then I started doing penetration tests, and then we went full force into the cyber. And then to answer your question earlier, I was in the cyber and I just saw the wealth, but then a lot of people don't know there's about 600,000 job vacancies in cybersecurity.
It is?
600,000, 500,000, whether you want to say 5 or 6, but it's about 5 to 600,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So when everyone's talking about closing the wealth gap, I'm like, well, if we close the cybersecurity skills gap, we can close that wealth gap. So that's what made me say I want to start cybersecurity school for young adults. I like to say between 16 and 25 to really get those skills to go out into the cybersecurity field.
And that's what the school is going to be about.
That's what the school will be about, yes.
And where's the school going to be located?
It's going to start in York, Pennsylvania, my hometown.
Okay.
We're doing 2 proof of concepts as we speak. But the good thing about it with cybersecurity, and this is something good on my company, is we don't only do risk management. So a lot of people that are in cybersecurity, they don't know how to do the technical skills. They can get busy with whether it comes to hacking, really building something. So they'll learn both physical and technical, practical and theory in our school.
And is the cost a lot? Like, is it?
No. As of right now, it's not a lot. And that's what took us so long on the curriculum side, because there's software that we need. But I want to make sure that it stays true to inner city kids so where they can afford it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's deep, man. Like, it's so crazy. Like, it's people in our community don't really know about cyber. No. They don't know about how important it is. No. So when you talk about being a student for your school, what's the age range? Is anybody can apply? How is that part? So as of right now, we're like I said, we're doing the POCs. We'll probably kick it off fully fourth quarter of 2024, first quarter
2025.
Okay.
And it'll be seniors and young adults. So seniors are high school and young adults, people that need those continuing education credits. Yes.
Okay. And once you get done with the school, you'll be certified. And then I guess would that be enough for you to apply for a cybersecurity job, or you need more education? Because a lot of people know usually it has to be coupled with a bachelor's, a master's. Is that true in that part, in that field?
In this field. So you'll come out. Our goal is for when you get out, you take your test, whether it's a security plus or a pen test plus, and that's going to really give you your entry level into cybersecurity.
Okay.
As we know, there are certain career pathways that you can take where you don't have to go to college. I'm not one of those people that's like, you don't need to go to college. I'm not one of those people. Right. You know what I mean? But this is a pathway where you could, let's say you're 25, 26 years old trying to figure out what to do. You could come into our course, take the course, get your security plus or pen test plus, and start your career.
Okay.
And maybe from then you're like, you know what, I'm entry level, but I want to go get my bachelor's in cybersecurity so I can move up the ladder.
Okay.
Yeah. But I will say, I'm not one of those, there's a huge debate right now of whether you should go to college or not. I think college has a lot of value. I think college has a lot of value.
I do too.
Yeah.
Now, working under Tom Wolf, how do you feel that has helped you be successful in your field of choice today?
That's a real good question. So when I was working under governor's jurisdiction, right, I was working Department of General Services, doing business development for veteran-owned businesses. I like to say black and brown-owned businesses.
Okay.
The correct terminology is minority-owned businesses.
Okay.
I learned how ruthless business can be. Yeah, you know, just to be totally honest with you, I learned three things. I said one is people really need to understand compliance.
Right.
In business, people need to understand, especially our culture needs to understand the vast avenues of business that you could take, and then you need to understand, you know, when you're getting in that entrepreneurship, you know, there's some sharks out there.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
And I say that because, you know, if you just come out of the city, you graduate high school, you have a business, a lot of people think just because I'm black, people empathize with my struggle and they're going to give me a chance. It's a complete opposite.
Right.
It's a complete opposite to me.
Okay, speaking of that, a lot of black people still feel that we need reparations. What's your thoughts on that? Because you just brought up black businesses, and a lot of black people feel, especially myself, took a major hit during COVID.
Yep.
But we took a major hit for 400 plus years. Do you believe that black people deserve reparation, and do you believe the government will ever give it to them?
I believe in reparations. I believe everyone that has family
right.
that were enslaved should receive reparations. It's crazy that we haven't. Other what do you want to call them, cultures or ethnic groups have received reparations for less. You know what I mean? So absolutely. I think we should.
And another thing that we kind of like comes up as well is that other cultures from other countries like Mexico, like Spain, they come over here, they get a green card, they get a loan, they get credit. Yep. But if you're born here, you can't get it. When you're trying to get a line of business credit, you got to go through all these loopholes. But someone comes from another country, get a green card, and they get it like that. Can you expound upon maybe why that is, why you think that is, and what like it's I feel like it's a dead end.
Yeah. That's is. As you grow, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't think it's fair.
Right.
I don't think it's fair, but it's something that really goes on. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Yep.
Bruh, it's like, man, come on.
Yeah.
So all right. So moving on. Let's get into the music. So you came up and you even was an artist at one time, and you came up during the mixtape era. Can you expound on how the mixtape and the DVD era had an effect on you and just hip hop overall?
That's a good one. So yeah, when I was in high school, I definitely was into music. making mixtapes, doing the whole thing, the battle era and all that.
Yeah.
I say that era it taught me a lot about literature, really. You know what I mean? I didn't know it was
Yeah.
literature at the time, but I'm writing, I'm learning metaphors, double entendres, and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
right.
It taught me how to speak. It really taught me confidence because you're performing in front of people.
Right.
Taught you how to be creative and charismatic.
Yeah.
Back then, when you're talking about that era, I the biggest thing is the focus.
Yeah.
As I get older now, I look at it as focus because you had a Walkman, you know what I'm saying, and a CD, and you were listening to that CD
Over and over.
for a while. You know what I mean? Maybe a month, maybe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So, whereas now,
Right.
you open up your phone, you got
Everything
thousands
at your
and thousands.
disposal.
Exactly. New music dropping, every week, and you can't really focus, or I like to say, get to the substance of the music.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think it's oversaturated? Because I remember a few years back I used to say I love Future, but I think he's oversaturating the game because he just kept coming out with music over and over. And it was like, bro, I love you, dog, but you killing me, man. Like, give me a break.
I like that. So there's a book called, and I read this book for business.
Okay.
Every time I bring up this book in a podcast, I can never remember the author, but it's called Deep Work, and it's a really good book about focus, and how the giants focus. Right?
Okay.
And
Right.
they get to the next point.
Mm-hmm.
But in the book it talks about there are certain people that don't focus at all. You know what I'm saying? Certain CEOs that are just able to multitask, and that's the future. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If he gave us, look at a Jay-Z was able to drop hits, in a method. They didn't come every year.
No. They took a break.
Exactly. That's not a future, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's not a future. Future's not going to come with that much lyrics, that much story to it. He's coming with feel-good music. So I feel like he could just give you a bunch of them like that. I feel like he could just give you a bunch of hits.
Right.
Yeah, because that's his strategy. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: there was a time that did you feel like you could really do this rap thing? Was it a time where you felt like you was good enough to be a rapper?
So yeah. To me, and I'm sure everyone feels like that. But I had dropped my second mixtape, but there were a couple people that I was like, all right, I like him that was for it.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy thing was, I was in the studio, in somebody's house. You know what I mean? Bunch of kids upstairs, and I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, if I don't make it by a certain point, I got to move left or right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I just went, so I took the ASVAB and I got into the Air Force, and I was like, man, I was getting in a lot of trouble when I was younger. Music was really all I had. You know what I'm saying? To me, I wasn't good at sports, so the music was all I had. And I was like, man, I'm going to get this Air Force a shot. And then I'm in the Air Force. I'm 19, 20. I can't rap about the things I was rapping about anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in the Air Force in Japan, enforcing laws. So I kind of just moved a little bit into poetry. And whenever I'm writing something, I can still, that creative piece, sticks with me. But I would like to say, I thought I could make it. At a point in time,
Damn, yeah. What was your rap name, bro?
Chaos.
Chaos.
Yup.
That's what's up.
And then I moved it to Tune. That was before I knew that Lil Wayne's name was Tune, so I moved it back to Chaos.
Oh, wow.
But that was his nickname for a little bit.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, man, because what do you think about? Because I went on Instagram yesterday and I wanted to know your thoughts. Mm-hmm. So I said that I think that Meek Mill needs to go on tour. He needs to stop worrying about academics. He needs to focus on doing a tour. And I got a backlash, and they told me that he doesn't have enough catalog. He doesn't have enough hits to headline a tour. And they also said that he has to have a current hit to headline a tour. What's your thoughts on that? I disagree. I feel like Meek catalog is big enough for him to do a tour, for him to do his own festival, just like OVO Fest, just like Dreamville Festival. What's your thoughts? Because I don't believe that. It's just like Rolling Stone been touring for 30 years. They hits is old.
Yeah.
50 Cent just went on a world tour. He ain't hit in 20 years. I mean, it's like, bro, no, that's not true.
Yeah, so when I was rapping back in the day, that's when U2 Verse started. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was just the Soulja Boy was going on at the time. My daughter's 11 and she knows the dance. I'm like, I never played Soulja Boy in front of you. So how you learn that dance? But So that's when Meek, you know, we from the Northeast region. So that's when Meek Mills, Reed Dollars was just getting busy.
Right.
So I watched Meek since day one to now.
Right.
So it's really a biased opinion because I still listen to the Flamers mixtapes. You know what I'm saying?
And the first Dream Chasers.
Exactly. So I listen to all of it. So I do agree with you that I feel like what are you getting caught up in sometimes?
Right.
And that but so I will say this. I will go to a Meek Mill's tour. I think he has enough hits to do a tour.
To do his own festival.
In
Philly, by the way.
He could do it in Philly. He could do it a lot of places. There's a lot of pockets that listen to Meek Mill. When I was in Texas, I knew some people that were like, you know, so there's some people out there that are like, I don't think he has enough hits, but there's enough people that he could do a tour.
Absolutely.
But
I also said in my tweet that he needs to grab an R&B artist like a L.M.A. or someone make a song for the ladies. He keeps giving his street hits. I get it. But, bro, Tupac told you the way to be successful in this world is to make music for the ladies.
I think that was one of his biggest hits. I think Dangerous was one of his biggest hits. That was for the ladies.
Right, but that's my point. He had the song with P&B Rock. He had the song with L.M.A.
Yeah.
These are songs that were in rotation. They were spinning on every urban radio station. He didn't even do a tour for championships. I don't understand your best work. You should have did a championship tour.
Yeah.
And you could have had Dave East. You could have had Fabio. These are the people that I think should open up for him on his tour. Because they fit along the confines of that audience. You see what I'm saying?
So when he got out, he had a lot going on because he was doing a lot when he got out that second time, right?
Yeah, doing prison reform.
He was doing prison reform, which I seen a couple. When I was working under the governor, I seen his organization come up there a couple of times and get busy. So he has a solid organization.
Absolutely,
I've seen it. He has a solid organization in real time that does real stuff. And then he was going through his music, woes of figuring things out. So hopefully, this time he's a lot sharper. Hopefully, he.
But they keep bringing up the Diddy allegations, and I'm like, dog, like it's allegations. It's like, bro, y'all really think Meek gay? I don't care. Like, I'm not buying it, bro. And that's why I didn't tweet or say anything about the Diddy shit, because it's like it's a circus. I'm not joining the circus. Y'all can stay over there with the circus. I'm gonna stay right over here with the real hip hop shit, because I'm not jumping on that plane. I'm not doing.
You know what I will say though? I think about 2 years ago, Wallow came down to where we was at.
Oh, to York. Okay.
Wallow came to York, and because I got a nonprofit. It was founded by a good friend of mine, Delaney Simpson.
Okay.
I'm on the board, and we do good work. It's called Bro to Go stands for Brothers Who Grow and Overcome.
Okay.
And Wallow came down, spoke to and it was amazing. You know what I mean? It was a good thing that he did for us. But for me to just be honest, man, I think Meek has enough hits to do it. He's one of my favorite artists.
He do. I think it's his team. I like. People got to realize he no longer with Coon Philly. He no longer with Phil the Mayor. Like, all the people that he was with during the time when he was with Nicki Minaj, during the time when he was grooming LaMaison, Lil Snoop, those people are no longer part of his team. So I feel like now, why he always keeps saying I'm independent, fuck the labels, is because he don't have those same people in his ear, those same people representing him. So I think a lot of decisions that's being made for him right now, he's not for Rock Nation anymore either. He's making those decisions on his own.
Yeah. And
I don't know how some of the decisions he make, even with that being said, because if you're constantly around a Jay-Z or a Rick Ross, that entrepreneur spirit should just be enmeshing into your being, bro. That's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you, especially with those two.
It's like, bro, wow. It's like a tour. Like, and then the other thing is, shout out to Lil Uzi Vert, but Lil Uzi Vert has surpassed me in a sort of sense of, if Lil Uzi Vert do a tour the day tomorrow, if he say I'm performing at the Wells Fargo Center, those tickets are selling out in a matter of 3 or 4 hours. Meek Mill can't do that. Meek Mill has to have Meek Mill and friends. So Lil Uzi Vert is just in a different stratosphere, bro, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
You let your young boys surpass you.
Yeah, but Lil Uzi also makes different music than Meek Mill.
That's true.
Meek Mill stays to the boom bap. He stays to the gangster rap.
Right.
At the core. I do think one thing I'll say is I think when he first came out, the support that he had behind him, this might be a stretch. I'm going to just say it, and then get back to the cyber solutions. But I feel like when he first came out of jail, man, I feel like he could have had a Tupac movement behind him. You know what I'm saying? That second time, like he could have. I feel like he could have been on that level of artistry.
And like people said, if he would have made better decisions, he could have been Jay status.
I agree. I'll be totally honest. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Move forward a little bit.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yep.
You had to cut us.
The chair.
Oh wow.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, we cool. And then you can push the mic further away if it's too close.
Okay.
All right.
Like that. Okay.
Good.
Appreciate you.
So you had to cut it?
No.
Oh, you still rolling?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. But yeah, so that's what my thought process is when it comes to Meek, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Meek, man. I'm rooting for him, bro. I had moments where I was at him,
Yeah.
but over time it wasn't nothing nutty. He did some nut shit, like doing the Drake shit. I was at him because I just didn't understand how you let Drake beat you. But that was a whole nother conversation. I didn't understand that.
But what I will say is, he like Warpaint was hard. He just didn't drop it at the right time. If he would have came out with Warpaint
first, because that first this was like, what the fuck? Yeah. But he said during that time he was popping pills. He was doing stuff. Nuts.
But Warpaint, I still listen to that today. That was hard. That Warpaint was that was it.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, but that's Meek is one of my tops. I mean, that was one of the people I've seen since the beginning of YouTube almost.
Goes to
all the way up.
Right.
All the way up. And that's it's a special thing to see.
It is.
It's a special thing to see.
Like excellence, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it is. So yeah, I definitely seen that.
Yeah.
With him.
All right, so tell the people, I guess, what the future holds for your company.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess what do you think is the biggest threat for the US? And what do you think are the solutions?
So that's good. The future of my company, I like to say, you got to say is security, especially. So whether it's physical or digital, I'm in a security space.
Right.
You have to really stay flexible because you're going to have to move with the trends and what's going on. You know what I mean? You can't stay fixated on one thing.
Right.
I really think the biggest threat to the United States are the people itself, how polarizing things are right now. You know what I mean? How big of an argument it is, how nobody can agree on stuff. Bills can't get passed, things can't move forward. You know what I mean? And that's stopping our progression. I think from a war fighting standpoint, just from what I seen in the military, I mean, we got bases everywhere. Like you hear stuff like, oh my God, what's going on over there? Right. And in me being in the Air Force, going all around the world, I'm like, we got a base.
Right.
Like you don't understand what we have we have fighter bases in other people's countries with fighter jets. You know what I'm saying? Ready to go. So I think from a war fighting standpoint, I think we're good. Mm-hmm. I think we do need to educate the population more on how to secure themselves, secure their business and their information.
Right.
But I think one of the biggest vulnerabilities is just the everyday American. Right. I feel like, you know what I mean, things are so safe here.
So a possible civil war.
I wouldn't say it's possible civil war. I think things are just so safe here. People don't really see how the things that they say and do could affect our progression.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, that's why civil war. I don't really see it. I don't see it being a civil war, but I do see people not agreeing or trying to agree at all, compromising on anything, stunting our growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
Well, telling people how they can follow you, man, how they can go to the school, apply, the website, just run it down, man.
Okay, so ParkerInternationalSecurity.com.
Okay.
Is our website. Mm-hmm. You can email us at admin@ParkerInternationalSecurity.com. Okay. Parker is PARKER, internationalsecurity.com. You can contact us. We'll have the school up the third quarter. So I just say stay in touch with us. Instagram is Parker International Security. You can catch us on Facebook. Your handle is still Parker International Security. Mm-hmm. And we update our pages real frequently. You can stay,
what's going on.
Yeah, abreast of what's going on. Because a lot of things are about to start rolling.
Now this is my last question, is any albums you looking forward to in 2024 or anything you anticipating in hip-hop this year that stands out for you? possibly.
I was looking forward to Meek's album. He dropped that. I'm definitely looking forward.
That 5-pack.
Yeah, a little 5. It was a 5-pack. It wasn't an album.
Right.
I'm definitely looking forward to 2 more albums. J. Cole's album. I'm looking forward.
Oh
to.
yeah, me too. You heard that first little snippet, that little thingy.
It was nice. It was nice. The
Bro.
last one he dropped, I was like, okay, but the features he's been giving, he been beating my ear. And then the other one that was supposed to drop last year, I thought, didn't drop yet. Hopefully it drops this year. As Jadakiss said, he's supposed to
have a project coming out.
A double pack for us.
Oh, double album.
He said he was supposed to have a double album for us. So that's
Jada. We waiting, Jada. I don't know about that though.
Yeah.
When you say with Jada, he move at his own course, man.
He does. He does. But
course.
you know what? When I watched the verses, I was like, man, because he was already my favorite rapper. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah, he don't got a bad verse.
No,
I never heard a bad verse from Jada.
If I give you my top 5 before we get out of here,
Yeah.
I will put it at I
go
would
ahead.
go Scarface, Jadakiss, Jay-Z, J. Cole, and then that 4th one. I mean the 5th one.
Nas. Well, not really.
I like to put Jay-Z and Nas together because
Okay,
it'll clog your 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
it'll
sure.
really clog your 5. But I'll give that last one. It's always a toss up.
Right.
But I would say probably like Andre 3000.
Oh yeah, you can't
Probably
go wrong
Andre
with him.
3000. Yeah.
He out here being great.
Yeah.
He's been doing his little tour. He's gonna be at the Roots picnic this year as well.
That flute album was.
It's dope.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah, I did
liked
too. He should have just told me it was a flute album because you know what I mean? I was ready for some bars, and I'm like, okay. But I went back and listened to it. I said, it was talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was talent. And you know, that speaks to different avenues.
Right. You
that
can't
can
stay
take.
in the same. He did rapping for 20 years straight. So
He did rap for 20 years, and when people, and that's another thing. It's just like business, you know. In music, you can do so many things. You don't have to box it in.
Right.
He dropped a whole album with flutes, and it took off.
yeah.
And you could do the same thing in business. There's so many different, avenues that you could take.
Well, I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Give it up for my man Montez
Yeah,
Parker,
you
man.
know it.
Make sure you check him out, man.
Thank you.
And shout out to my man Super Jones for putting us together, man.
I appreciate that. Yep.
Yeah,
He does all my marketing and stuff like that. So
Oh, that's
appreciate
dope.
it. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yep.
Shout out to Super Jones, man. Me and him been rocking for the longest, and make sure you tap into a couple episodes that we did together as well, man. Well, this is your boy DJ Bugsy. Make sure you keep it hip hop. Peace.